because, again, I think it highlights this interplay between the way in which blended families might operate, the way in which trusts might operate, and then the way in which the court system and other regulatory regimes and the legislation in other areas might be impacted on. So Kern was another family law bust-up. In that scenario, the parents had arranged for some land to be transferred down to the daughter and the son-in-law, and then the daughter and the son-in-law actually built a house on that land. And the daughter's argument was that, well, clearly the asset had come down her side of the family, and clearly that needed to come back to her side of the fence under the family law situation. So not an amazingly complex argument, and one that the court was actually happy to say, yes, well, in the circumstances, we'll follow that back down, and that can be on your side of the ledger. Where it started to get a little bit more interesting was that the daughter then argued, well, look, and don't quote me on the numbers here, but look, the land, we did the land for a transfer for $100,000, to pick a number. But the reality was it was actually worth $400,000. It was just my parents were trying to look after me, and you know what? If we'd done it at $400,000, well, we would have had to pay all this additional tax and stamp duty, and we didn't want to have to do that. So we just, got a mate, paid a mate a slab of beer or a carton of beer, got them to do the valuation at $100,000, snuck it through the stamps office, and it was happy days. And the family court said, well, look, again, you've brought all this other evidence to prove that, yeah, you did ratchet down the valuation, and therefore that we're happy to give you the uplift, so we'll give you $400,000 as the market value, and all of that will go to your side of the ledger. But what you did is wrong, and there are specific provisions, criminal provisions, under the stamp duty legislation that say if you want to go and transfer assets under value, even between related parties, you will pay a price. So while we're happy to acknowledge your argument and give you the benefit of that under the family law, we're also immediately sending this to the Criminal Investigation Division at the Stamps Office, and they'll be in contact with you. So again, the privilege point there would have actually probably saved that lady, but she was the one that brought it into the court. She waived the privilege, and therefore it was open for the family court. Even though they acknowledged her argument, they then paid the ultimate penalties.